So I have the 6-note version of hedgehog. So now I'm going to add the notes to make it an 8-note. To make it the 8-note. To make it 8 notes. So I need to figure out which one is. I'm pretty sure it's this one. It's 3 3 2 3 3 3 2 3. So 3 3 2 3 3 3 2 3. So I'm going to keep all the other colors the same. Oh, I lost all my colors. Which one is uh-oh, I lost my layout. Do I have it? Oh, don't tell me I didn't save this one. That sucks. I have to start all over. How do we do it? Small steps. If it goes up a 5-step after we do the dark green. And do 2 3s after that. 3 before all these. It's not right. It should be a 3 after. It's also not right. It should be a 5. Okay, I just did all those wrong for some reason. So this should be a That's not 3, that's 5. 3 5 3. but then it's gonna be 5 after that. So 3, 5, 3, 3. So I guess the pattern is this. Someone else. One, two. That sounds right. these I'll make. I think we're going yellow. Since those green ones actually show up kind of yellow, I think I'll make the green ones yellow. Make the new ones green. Make the new ones this green color. So the threes are going to stay the same. But the fives are going to get a new note. After them, and all the fives now turn into 3 twos. So all the new twos, I'm gonna make this light green color. So I think that's good. So, yeah. This is kind of like a diminished. So the last one was a little more. So then the 6-note mode, you just skip all the, on this they look like lime green, but on the keyboard they actually look like yellow. Skip all those yellow ones. And these ones that are actually yellow on the screen, they look golden on the actual keyboard. So that's the 6-note hedgehog. It's a little more whole tony. And this one, that was a little more diminished sounding. But I do think this sounds kind of diminished. Then you add those. So yeah, you can definitely like hear this, like the parent 6-note version. Still practicing that instrument. Have you seen me compose? Like on stream lately? I don't think I've really written anything on stream yet. Just like little loops and stuff. I have like all this new stuff, so it's kind of hard to write right now. Because I'm just... Oh, I just saw you chatted on Twitch too. How you doing, Dom? But yeah, I will. I will. I haven't yet. Not really. But yeah, I have music. YouTube is less load on your computer. Yeah, I get so few messages on Twitch that I've just forget to even look. But yeah. Yeah, I'm practicing this linnstrument because it's new. And all the microtonal stuff I've written, with the exception of like a couple where I played them on my keyboard, I just went on piano roll. Like I just sat in Reaper and like drew notes in on piano roll. So now that I have this linnstrument, I'm just trying to get where I can. I'm just trying to get where I can like comfortably come up with ideas and like play them. When you get a new toy, you start writing right away. I mean, I don't. It takes me a long time to get used to it. I mean, I start making stuff up. Don't get me wrong. I've come up with a lot of ideas, but just nothing that I'm really satisfied with. Nothing really is stuck. Have you shown me your setup? No. Should I pull it up? You can send me a link or something if you have like a picture. If you want me to pull it up. If not, just shoot me a message. I'll look at it later. But I have not seen it. No. So yeah, if I get lucky, then I'll have you sent me something. Then I'll have an idea. Maybe a message. Oh, I see it. Oh, you sent it on Twitch. Okay. Alright. Oh, that's nice. Man, your room is so clean. Yeah, it looks a lot nicer than my room, that's for sure. I like your little frog, too. Man, you got a ton of guitars. Are any of those custom fretted or... Damn, what's that little harp thing? Oh, that's all good. I saw it. It's like I have to turn my neck like 2 inches further to the left to read Twitch. That's cool. You got a 12 string, a nylon string, an acoustic. What is that? A telly? I'm not a huge guitar guy. I see it's a some kind of Squire, but the bass is a 5-string. Oh, that's a Celtic harp. Oh, that's cool. You got a little controller keyboard thing here. Little pedal board. Yeah, dude, since you're into pedals, maybe I'll show you my pedals real quick. If I can grab them. It's probably easier just to pick up the camera. Um, let me. Yeah, I'll just grab the camera. This is my pedal rig. I usually don't put it on the floor, but I actually haven't done anything with it in a while. But I got a few. I did mess with it a bunch like 2 years ago. One of my old bands, I used not that specific setup, but a portion of it, like in its early phases. But I'm doing some recordings now, and I'm thinking of ways I can just get back into that for the recordings. But it's none of that stuff is microtonal. It's just like stuff I wrote last year that I still haven't put out. You're not much of a gear guy, but you love seeing stuff. Yeah, I know a little bit. I know a little about the pedals, but not. I'm not a gearhead, that's for sure. But I like use it as outboard effects. I'm probably gonna like I wrote everything on piano, but on a few of the songs I'll probably try to just mess with the timbres and try some synth or keyboard stuff and run my keys in it. But I also have this. I'll show you this too, since we're showing our setups. I have this piano. This is an electric piano, and that electric piano I use with the pedals. What am I doing? I'm trying to figure out my phone. I use the pedals with that electric piano, and I retune that piano too. It's like in a weird, just kind of made up tuning right now. And I want to do stuff like that on stream too. I'm just so wrapped up in this linnstrument is like a big deal, and I got pigments too. They're both new. And I can do more than just like 12 note scales. So I've been wanting to do more than 12 note scales and actually play them for like a couple years now. So I'm just like so hungry for it. I can't. It is kind of annoying to have to kind of go and do like really basic sort of boring stuff. Also, I know it's not very entertaining to watch, but I think of this live stream more as it's more like an educational resource than a form of entertainment. Like if I could make it both, I probably would, but I'm not. I don't know that I'm really that kind of person. I don't know that I have the personality for that. But it's at least the thing where if you're like curious, you could watch a few of these streams, or I don't know, just pop in every now and again, and you could get a sense of what you can do and what's involved. Because I know it's very overwhelming when you're not when you're first doing it. And I think if you're not really open to it and kind of motivated for whatever reason, it's hard to have the patience to get into it. So I think for those of us who have gotten into it, it's probably nice to I don't know, just kind of take a little bit of that burden of kind of diving into the deep end, take a little bit of that off, and if in some small way doing this can do that for some other people, then that's, I think that's a good thing. Also, I do think it's just, I think it's such a, it's, I find microtonality so interesting because it's just so new. There's so little music written that uses it. I find the whole thing fascinating to the point where I'm like, I want to know what, like I want to know what someone who's doing this is doing. What the hell are they doing? Like we're literally like playing brand new instruments. They're not even real instruments. Like we don't even have good instruments for it. We have like good MIDI controllers for it. So it's like I'm having to learn a MIDI controller. You have to like reconfigure how you think about music on a very like fundamental level. So I don't know. I just find that interesting, and I feel like it's worth documenting, even in this very, very kind of blasé is not the right word, but in this kind of like boring, matter of fact kind of way, I still think is worth something. So I'm just that's why I keep doing it. I'm just saying that's why I'm sitting here playing scales on a live stream. Just because it's microtonal. I've played piano for 20 years. I would never do this with piano. Because everybody knows how to play piano. There's no mystery to that. And I know it's boring. Like, who wants to watch that? But this I think could be interesting to people who are interested. So yeah. But yeah. Hopefully I'll come up with something. That's a very long-winded tangent, but yeah. Hopefully I'll come up with something sooner than later. Start actually writing something. I could get a loop going as well. Oh, you got a steel pan too? That's cool. And you got a bunch of stuff. I see a flute. Is that, I think I have, is that Behringer? Is that this one? I think I might have that. Just because you write so much, you want to see it in practice. Yeah, that's a pretty solid interface. That I don't use that one anymore because one day I like plopped down on my chair, and the cables were on the ground, and I like pulled back, and my chair leg like caught it and ripped it off the desk. That's your third. And it broke it. Yeah, pretty much broke it. And my friend actually fixed it for me. Yeah, I thought, well, my friend did actually fix it for me, so that one does work. Like we tested it. I think I'm gonna give it to somebody. I've been meaning to give it to my other friend, but just haven't found the opportunity. We don't live in the same city, but I figured when it first broke, I was like, I'll just upgrade. So I got that Volt. You can kind of see it. It's that Volt right there. That Universal Audio. It's pretty nice. It's a bit more. It's not like. It's still affordable, but it's just a little more expensive, a little nicer. There's that, and like those Scarlett Focusrites. Everybody uses those. But yeah, I like that. I like the Behringer one. It was good. Yeah, You're like the second person who's told me. I think a lot of people do that. A lot of people break them that way. But anyway, yeah, it's cool. Cool space you got there. So I have the 6-note moss for hedgehog. I did that yesterday, and that's this. Or sorry. So yeah, it's this sound. And then if you break the 5s up into 3 2s, you get the 8-note version, which is this one. Oh, it's all good. But yeah, they sound very similar, but to me it's very like it's like whole tone diminished kind of, but almost like a hybrid of the two. It's got the tritone, and then it's got these kind of staggered step sizes. This is the 6-note version. So it's got like these I think that's like a 1110 roughly. JI would be like 1110. Was that what it was? Yeah, it's like 165. So this is like 163. It's pretty close to that. And then it's got these. Those aren't really close to anything, but that's that interval. Just sounds like a minor third, basically, like a septimal minor third kind of, which is like 266. I guess it's pretty close to that. And then it's got these. These are really close to 9/7, which is like the septimal super major third. I think the super major third is like pretty close to that. Let's see. 435, and this is 436. Yeah, it's really close. And this is pretty close to that. It's a 2319. I always recognize that because that's in that Zaya Rose Novum Deca or whatever she calls it. It's this like JI keyboard mapping she made for just like a 12-note piano. That was one of the first like that's probably like the first JI thing I ever did. Was just taking that tuning and playing with it. It's got a 331 cent minor third from like C to E flat. Is that interval roughly? It's like 331. Is the 23/19. So this is really close. In fact, if you go on Xenpilled, it's like I think it's 8 steps. No, it's not 8 steps. It's yeah, six steps. It almost sounds the same. You can hear this one's like a little more subdued. It's a little flatter, but feels like, to me it feels like slightly wetter or something. I don't know how to put that. But sounds fine. Sounds good. But yeah, it's just like a bright minor third. So yeah, it's got that. We got the 9/7 and that 23/19. Then we just got straight raw tritones. I'm curious too. What is that? Close to. In JI 7.5, no. 24/17. Yeah, very close to that. 3 cents off. The larger septendecimal tritone. So its inverse is 3 cents sharp. Should be 34.24, but you could reduce that. So it'd be 17.12. Yeah. Large septendecimal tritone. High tritones, 10.7. Interesting. Euler's tritone. Wins? Is that how you say that? Tritone? Hudgens? Something like that. Hudgens or Wins or Hewins. I don't know.
Huygens.
Huygens. Oh, right on. Huygens. So, yeah. Anyway. So let's put in this one now. Three and 6. And 3, 2, or not, 3, 2, 3s. 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 2, 3. There we go. And that gives us everything we had, but now we have this, just 109. Is that like a eight, 7 or something? I don't know. It's pretty close to that. 111. That's 1615. This is going to be smaller, yeah. So I guess 1615 is probably as close as any superparticular ratio is going to get. So that's 109. Oh, that's like exact. 109.1. Oh, that's like exact 1615. So that's the second up from the third note now. So in the old one we only had 3s and 5s, and now we have these 2s. So that's where that comes from. 2 steps, 22. And then the 163, that's that. What was it? 10, 11 or something. So this is 16, 15. This is like a 10, 11. Yeah, it's like 11, 10. Now, I think we had these. No, we had these. That was like the 3. Oh, we had both of these before. This is that. It's close to that 23, 19. I don't really know what that's close to. Oh, it's close to the septimal minor third, kind of 266, which is a 7, 6, 6, 7. And then this is the 9, 7 roughly. This one's new. What's this? 490, 491. They're saying perfect fourth, so that's definitely a few cents shy, but not terrible. That's a real perfect fourth. Let's hear this version. So this one is... If we start on the fourth note, go up 3 notes. Yeah, it's like a tritone. There we go. That's like a fourth. I guess that's the 22 Ito fourth. Hey Ben, welcome to the rabbit hole. There's no bottom. I know I see that. Yes, I've gotten that sense. uh, yeah. Have you? What have you been working on? Um, this is hedgehog. You're writing a synth. Oh, that's interesting. You're like you're like programming a synth. Or you're like writing a synth in Rust. Now this is a whole world I'm familiar with. I'm assuming that's like a some kind of programming language or interface to that does it. Yeah, I don't know, something like that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to program or any of that. I I feel like I'm like right next door to that, but that's hopefully a it's hopefully something I never have to get into. I'll put it that way, because I know it's extremely time consuming. So yeah, I don't think I have time to. But also very empowering. I'm sure. And yeah, of course I appreciate everything that all the programmers have done for everybody. Not just in music, but everywhere else. I mean, what will we do without programmers and technology and all that? In fact, I mean, microtonality is, at least in its present form, it's like it's it's really only possible because of that, because of the innovations in the tech, kind of an unintended consequence. I think it's just become so easy to play in different tunings and with such precision, whereas historically it's always been kind of impractical to even attempt to do anything serious microtonally. Now anyone can do it in their living room if they have a little patience to deal with the learning curve. And in fact, I think that curve will become flatter and flatter over time. But like no one has to do like what I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. It does need to still be easier, yes, absolutely. So yeah, I think that curve will flatten. Yeah, Harry Parch, exactly. Thank you. I don't know why I kept thinking of Kyle Gann, and I knew it. I'm like, no, that was his student or something. But yeah, no one has to do what. Although that is very cool. Like, don't get me wrong, that what Harry Parch did is awesome. But yeah, like you used to have to build all your own instruments, and he had to like come up with a very strict theory of tuning and just kind of stick with it. He just chose 11 limit and came up with a scale and kind of stuck with it. Started building instruments. And if you have to build your own instruments from the ground up, you kind of have to be very, unwavering. What's nice now is that, you can try a different tuning every week. Who cares? You can try a few tunings in a day. All you have to do is load a Scala file. And yeah, so we can approach it in like the broadest. We can be as specific as we want now. We can be as broad as we want, and it's easier. It's still not easy. It still needs to become easier, but it's easier than it's ever been. And that's the only reason I'm doing this. If we still had to build our own instruments, Uh, I probably wouldn't do it at all. I probably wouldn't do any of it. I don't know why that thumbs up is popping up in my camera, but yeah, probably wouldn't do any of this. It's only because it's convenient. Yeah, it's possible for the kid who torrented FL Studio to be playing with microtonal music the next day. Does FL Studio have microtonal support? I mean, you can get Surge. I mean, it's very micro capable. I'm using that for my tuning display. I don't know if you're familiar with MTS ESP, but it's yeah, it's at the synth level, of course. Yeah, yeah. I mean, physical instruments, it's always going to be a barrier. So if you want to play like a refretted guitar or something, you're gonna want to be more focused on a specific tuning or two. I mean, they do have those sliding fret guitars too. Those are really cool, but they're only gonna do like subsets and stuff. It's kind of similar to having like a keyboard that you can retune the individual pitches, which I did that quite a bit, and you can do a lot of fun stuff with that. But if you ever want to play in like a different temperament, it's not going to be enough if you want to try new temperaments. But if you like subsets and like Moss scales and stuff, you can still do a lot with like a movable fret guitar, or just shifting. Well, I actually saw recently you can do it with a piano now. This guy came out with this. I can't remember what they're called, but you can attach this little. It's like this little clip of metal. It's like this little pin, and it's similar to like refretting the guitar. And you just put it where you want it on the string, and it literally just shortens the length of the string, so you can only tune up. Like you can only make the note sharper, but yeah, you can on an acoustic piano you can use those to adjust your tuning pretty, and it's you can take them out, put them in, readjust them, and yeah, so yeah, and those are pretty cheap actually. So if you have a piano, you don't think any of the DAWs have global support for microtonal tunings, but it's not too hard to get many plugins using a microtonal MIDI interface. Right, yeah. And well, Ableton has microtonal support now, and I think it's compatible. I don't have Ableton, but I think it's compatible with most of the like Ableton stuff, like the onboard Ableton stuff, and it works with any any of the not the regular MIDI, but the MPE. Yeah, any MPE will do it. So you don't even have to like load a Scala file. It's like a central brain on Ableton. It'll retune all of your MPE synths and stuff for you, which I think basically, I haven't used that type of retuning. But other than it like automatically retuning everything for you, I don't know if you lose anything. I don't know if you lose anything else in your MPE when you do that. I don't know if it's like you get this, but the pitch. I don't think you do. I think it just works. But I don't think you would like do that and load the Scala file. Yeah, I use Reaper too. I love Reaper. I used it for like 3 years without buying the license. And I used it so much I started to feel bad. And I was like, oh man, I'll just get the license. So I finally bought it. I've had a license now for a while. But yeah, Reaper's fantastic. And I'm sure you know more about this than I do because you do programming and write your own synths and stuff. But if you want to like get into Reaper, you can like customize it really heavily. I don't do a whole lot of that. I just I've done like some custom shortcuts and stuff, and that's about it. But it's very powerful and tweakable. I don't really have a lot to compare it to other than like GarageBand and Audacity, because those are the only DAWs I've used. But yeah, I'm a big Reaper fan. I've recorded pretty much everything I've done on my own. I've done on Reaper, which is an album and a lot of demos. Audacity is awesome. You don't know if you call it a DAW. Yeah, I guess it's not really a DAW. It's recording software, I guess. Audio software. I don't know. I haven't used it in forever. I don't even think I have it anymore. No, I don't have it. I don't have it on my new computer. Speaking of audio software, I don't know if you have Spear, but I just got that recently. And it's pretty interesting. If you're into like hold on. You can go in and just like it resynthesizes your sound for you. And you can like grab these the partials. It literally just like turns all the partials into sine waves, and you can like move them around. You can time stretch them. Oh, that's not a time stretch, but you can move them around. You can time stretch them. Yeah, there you go. You can do all kinds of weird stuff. Just, oops. How do I move that? Take that and it's just kind of silly, but I took it and I like took a couple sounds. No, don't save it. And I took out the harmonic, the individual partials, and I uploaded them to a sampler. And I just played the individual harmonics. And it was a little underwhelming, but it was an interesting process. But the driver for you was that you were frustrated with how bad piano samplers tend to be with microtonal tunings. So you want to build a synth that can synthesize piano. That's really cool. Are you familiar with Piano Tech? Because it does piano really well. In fact, like Zia Rose and a few others, but she's the one I keep thinking of, has put out like a lot of like piano stuff, and she does have a real piano, but a lot of her stuff, it's just Piano Tech. It sounds fantastic. It sounds like better than a real piano a lot of times, if it's like if it's well produced, well mixed, and all that. And I'm really into acoustic piano. I have an electric piano back there that I don't know if you can see it on camera, but you can kind of see it behind me. But I like retune that. It's like a real electric piano with strings. So I've done like different tunings on that. But I don't know. All the Piano Tech stuff I've heard has sounded great. It's like the best It's like the best synthetic piano I've ever heard. Piano is super complicated because it's borderline inharmonic instrument. Yeah. Yeah, with the string length, all the discrepancies and that. And it's hard to tune too because you have to like you kind of have to ignore the all the strings stretch the harmonics slightly flat. Yeah, it's like the lower you get. I mean, that electric piano, it's even worse than like a regular upright piano because the strings are just super fat. But yeah, the lower you go, the more you kind of have to ignore the fundamental and kind of just listen to the partials. So it'll you kind of want to stretch the tuning, even when you're just doing it by ear, just trying to match the octaves. Like if you really just try to match the fundamentals, the beating is like really bad. The whole thing is a giant wooden box full of resonators. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, pianos sound awesome. Part of the reason they sound so great is because they're so like, just. I mean, I'm sure it's different if you have like a really, really high quality grand piano or whatever, but for most of us playing on kind of junky old uprights and whatnot, a huge part of the charm is they're just slightly messed up by default, and you kind of just have to accept it. And I don't know, there's something nice about that too, and I know a lot of guitar players, and they're like they're constantly like tuning their instrument. One of my guitar buds, he's like really into like JI stuff, and doesn't like Ito stuff because it just all sounds out of tune to him. I wonder how much oh my dog, holy moly, I wonder how much of my kind of openness to the kind of weirder sounding tunings is like just because practicing piano all the time, especially like when I was in college, we had all the practice rooms. It was like a rotating cast of pianos. Some of them were sort of in tune, a lot of them were not. You just kind of get used to it. It's just like one piece of junk to another, and you kind of just have to accept what you have because you got to practice. And I don't know, you can kind of just get into the sound and sort of separate the tuning from the sound to some degree. You're studying spectral graphs of piano notes. They're so confusing until you realize that a huge portion of the sounds is that all the other strings are resonating with the tones. Oh, that's really interesting. So yeah, you don't even hear the individual strings. You hear the whole box vibrating with every note. Yeah, it's the cool thing about piano. It's even though the layout is really simple and straightforward, and producing a note is a really simple process, the sound itself is pretty complex, pretty complicated, and it's hard to even define. Like we have a hard people always argue about technically a percussion instrument, but then some people are like, oh well, it's a string instrument. Oh, it's its own thing. It's a keyboard instrument of its own sort. Not even getting into all that, but just that it sits on that line where it's like it can do everything, but it's almost like a in between everything. The strongest tone is the fundamental, except for the really low piano notes. But there's a vibration in the half frequency of the harmonic as well. And all the fundamentals aren't where you'd expect. Right, yeah, because you have to tune the low notes, like I guess extra flat, I want to say. I'm not sure how that ends up working out, but when you do it by ear, you kind of just like notice the notes kind of don't match, and it's more like you start to listen to the air and you listen for the beating, and you just find that spot where it sits the best. You just kind of find the best compromise. And when you're not tuning a piano, it just sounds fine. When you're just playing it, it sounds fine. But when you're tuning it, you're like, well, this doesn't seem right. Kind of have to get used to it. I'm no expert on that, but I have tuned that electric piano a few times. That's definitely like a big thing I noticed, was tuning the low notes. The high notes are hard too for a different reason, because the strings are so short, and even the very slightest movement translates to a big adjustment in pitch in terms of frequency. So it's just you sort of make a compromise on the high end too, just in how refined you're gonna get the sound, like how precise. I mean, how precise you're gonna get it. The strongest, I already read that. Your understanding is the physics of air movement doesn't allow strings to vibrate air as slowly as 50 hertz. So you don't actually hear 50 hertz. You hear the harmonics with a 50 hertz gap in between each harmonic. Oh, that's really interesting. It makes your brain think you're hearing a really low note even though the low vibration isn't there. Is that similar to like how they do the sub bass and stuff? Like they just like, I guess they like produce the difference tone or whatever. It just like implies a fundamental, so your brain like fills it in. So I guess when you're tuning a piano, it's a similar principle. You're probably like not tuning the fundamental. You're tuning one of the lower harmonics, like the second or fourth harmonic. But I guess probably perceptually, it just feels like you're tuning the fundamental, even though it's not really there. It's just your brain thinks it's there. So psychoacoustically, you're tuning the fundamental, but physically speaking, the fundamental is not even in the air. You're not really hearing it. Perceptually, it sounds like the right or low note. Okay, yeah, that's pretty interesting. So yeah, so your brain just fills in those gaps. I'm doing like JI stuff on for a little while. I was like going in surge, and if you compare to a 50 hertz sine wave produced by a good subwoofer, you realize it's a really different thing. Oh, that's interesting. I'd be curious to hear that. I don't have a subwoofer. I should get one though. But yeah, the monitors I have are pretty decent at bass, but yeah, subwoofer would take my mixing gain up a notch, I think. Because that's what I have the hardest time with, I think, is just mixing the bass. Or it's definitely something I notice. Yeah, for a while I was going on surge and doing these JI tunings and soaking them in like really thick like wave folding distortion and stuff. And I might try that since we're talking about it, but try it in pigments now that I have pigments. And you can hear the difference tones, and it would like, you would hear the bass note. So I had it on my keyboard, and I was like playing way up, like in the upper mids in the high range, and I just play like a chord or like even just like two notes, and with that distortion, like the the difference tones, the subharmonics, are so strong. It literally just sounds like you can just hear the third note. I'll see if I can't do it right now. I'll see if I can't do it right now. If I switch to a pure JI and just like lather it in some distortion, we might be able to hear it. But yeah, I thought it was so interesting because you would hear notes like not even like in the same region, like just 2, 3, 4 octaves down. You just hear that bass note loud and clear, and like in the same timbre. It's so strange. But yeah, that sort of stuff is part of what makes JI specifically so interesting, is that there's all these psychoacoustic phenomena that are really apparent in pure tuning that you never experience outside of that. And I'm about as far from a JI purist as you can get, but that's something you don't get in a Ito unless it like approximates JI really well. But yeah, it definitely provides its own. Yeah, I even have a keyboard mapping on my linnstrument for this. So I'm gonna switch over to that. Oops. Nope, wrong one. So this is my JI 16 note JI, just 16 through 32, those harmonics. A lot of distortion systems work based on alternating suppression and amplification of fundamentals. Yeah, I've learned a little bit about distortion, but yeah, I know that like even in like a big part of the appeal of those, like a lot of the analog systems, is that it'll like amplify the third harmonic and stuff, so it just like thickens everything up, and it's like an unintended just side effect of the gear. You're pretty uninterested in JI, but you do like the idea of specifically targeting interesting ratios. You tend to try to find an Ito that gets a good approximation though. Yeah, I mean, people tend to prefer not JI, but like near JI. Usually amplifies the third, fifth, seventh, and suppresses the even number harmonics. Interesting. So yeah, and in fact, since we're talking about this stuff, I'll show you too. Like, so Pigments has this. I don't know how familiar you are with Pigments, but it has this really cool kind of additive synthesis thing. So like and you can go on here and they call it parity. I guess that's what that means. But yeah, you can just go all the way even, all the way odd, and of course you can like modulate all that too. So if you wanted to, you know, just throw LFO on there and wiggle between them or whatever. But yeah, I mean, the thing is like with JI, it's so hard for me to stick with it. It's really hard to write in for me. So I've never like really written like a JI piece. But I think it could be done really. I think it almost makes you want to write differently. It's really easy to kind of lean in towards a dronier like a more like laid back it does not lend itself to motion as well, or to melody to some extent. Electric guitars are known to not be able to play certain chords well that work with other string instruments. That's actually the reason the harmonics are aligning unfavorably. Oh, that's really interesting. And that's due to the amplification. So I guess that wouldn't be a problem on like an acoustic guitar. Maybe that's why you don't have more, although we do have it some, but maybe that's why we don't have more like mixture of like guitar and acoustic instruments. Like we do have some. Like Jethro Tull comes to mind. But like even then a lot of times we'll like apply a bunch of effects to the other instruments. I always like guitar and sax and stuff. I've always wanted a band with like violin, but to me it's almost like either violin or guitar. Choose one. Like if I were to do a group, I would just want one. Preferably a violinist, but it's really hard to find violinists who want to play in a band. You can distort anything. Yeah, I mean, as one should. So, but yeah, that makes sense. What are we doing? Oh yeah, let's see if we can hear some of these difference tones. So let's turn this thing off. Like if we just put a little distortion on here. Oh, there we go. It's not that. I can't really hear it. You want to try a setup where you set a JI tuning? Oh, you can kind of hear it. You can hear it a little bit. But it sounds like it's higher. Kind of can hear that one. Or that, maybe. Let me try less dirty. Oh, there we go. Man, you can hear something there. Do hear another note. You haven't gotten to the point where the synth you're writing can do it yet, but you want to try a setup where you could set JI tuning. Whenever you play a chord, it resets the anchor frequency so the notes are instantly retuned in relation to the lowest note in the chord. In an attempt to address the issue where only one key sounds good in JI. Yeah, that's kind of like the holy grail of JI. There's that I can't remember what it's called, but there's that software Holy moly, it's been so long since I've heard anyone even bring it up. But it'll retune everything for you. It's not MTS ESP, but it's something else. I want to say like, oh man, was it Jahani Norvola or something? Made it. Was it him or somebody else? It's gonna be kind of embarrassing if it's somebody else. Somebody did. Somebody made this. No, I guess it was somebody else. Man, what's the guy's name? But supposedly it's supposed to try to do that very thing, yeah. Where like retunes. You can't find any synths that can do that. You don't have to pay for. Yeah, you have to pay for this one too. I can't remember what it's called. It's like, but it's supposed to just retune everything for you. But they were saying they were trying to like incorporate that in an update where you can change the fundamental on the fly. I saw a video a while back. It was Jacob Collier playing an organ in Logic, but I think the organ's maybe not a Logic specific organ, but you could do a JI tuning mode on it where it did that, where it just like automatically would play the harmonic seventh. It's just every time you get into that, it gets so complicated because it's like, do you want to like what do you want to tune everything to? Because there's so many notes in the chord. So it's like, if you play a harmonic seventh chord, yeah, the harmonic seventh sounds sick, man. We can do that on here too. Sounds worse with distortion though. Is this right? No, this is not tuned right. I don't know. I gotta load up my keyboard mapping. Hello, Alcadroid. How you doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. I gotta find the keyboard map. There we go. Yeah. There it is. Harmonic seventh chord. Yeah. If you just like the seventh, got that. Like this layout. That's root five in the blue diagonal, and then in that yellowish green, yellow gold, whatever that is, that's the third and the seventh. The septimals are the ratio that has been done the most dirty by 12-tep. That is true. That's true. I don't know if you're a big fan of Lamont Young's well-tuned piano, but that like does the septimal intervals. It kind of brings them back. It sounds really nice. I love the septimal minor third and just the septimal intervals in general, but yeah. The well-tuned piano, the rationale behind it is sort of like, F5 limit. We don't need any more 5 limit thirds, so there's like no 5 limit intervals. It's just There's, you know, pure fifths, and then there's harmonic sevenths, and they all get stacked. All the intervals are just chains of fifths and sevenths, and that's where that tuning comes from. And it's just a 12 note, 7 limit, no 5 limit tuning. Although earlier iterations had some 31 limit too, but I think the better known version of it, it's just all 7 limit. But yeah, the 7 limit sounds awesome. It's just nice. I mean, you know, the distortion's probably ruining it, but it's just a nice sound. Yeah, a little dirtier. Yeah, you get all the 3 limit there. That's all the 7 limit, and then in the pink you get the rest of the 4th octave. So you get harmonics 9, 11, 13, and 15. So if you want like a 9, 11, 13, 15, you have it right there. And then all the uncolored squares are are octave 5, so it's like 17 through 31. So the forbidden JI. I do kind of like doing JI stuff with this additive synth. It has a feeling that it's so different from everything else, but it's clearly a ratio humans are built to hear. It as a unique emotional resonance. It does resonate, I agree with that. And Western musicians just decided no one would use it for 400 years. Yeah, I mean, they had to do something, I guess. But yeah, I mean, hey, we can do it. We can use it now. Yeah, that well-tuned piano, I'll boot that one up real quick. I'll show that to you. And it's a 12 notes tuning, so you can play it like on a regular like keyboard pretty comfortably. It is weird because the notes do not go in order. What the heck? Yeah, they don't go they don't go in ascending order. So that's a little weird, but just a couple of them. A couple of them go down instead of up. But it's honestly, it's kind of interesting, honestly. But I actually really want to tune my electric piano to this. That's something I haven't done that I've been meaning to do for a long time. But I've tuned my like keyboard to it, and yeah, I'll show you like if you just do like the just go to like the default so this is just like a hold on, 12 note regular. You can see all the intervals, but actually Kyle Gann has the intervals mapped out right here. So you can see it like goes up fifths. Hold on. So it's just a couple fifths, and then it has, then it goes up sevenths as well. Hold on, I do not have this set up. In a friendly way. All right, there we go. Yeah, good. Oh, my tuning's not right. Hold on, let me get this. Yeah, I did not. Oops, I did not get this. It's not right. Still not right. Oh, that's why it's sounding weird. So what would that be? Is it A? Let's make A the main one, I guess. And then make C not main one. Anyway, it's got the sevenths. Got the fifths, got the sevenths. That's seventh of the seventh. Lord, Lord. That's complicated. Actually, it's a lot easier to do on just a keyboard. Let's switch it out. I'm not really used to playing normal stuff on the instrument. Way easier on here. The 9/8 is quite nice. Yeah, that's just, well, 9/8 is pretty well represented, I'd say. Although, not perfectly, but in just regular. So yeah, chain sevenths. Actually, I made this thing. I'm all over the place today, but whatever. I just stacked a bunch of sevenths and split them in thirds. Or was it fourths? 4 equal divisions is 7/4. I actually thought it sounded fine. So it doesn't have real octaves, but they're pretty close. And it's like a pentatonic sounding thing, kind of. It's a really great sounding scale. It has no octaves in it. But yeah, to get that, all you gotta do is go to Scale Workshop, and then let's get rid of some of these. It's got a real power and energetic feeling. Yeah, I kept thinking it was like so it's 4 divisions of 7, 4, and then you get it. It's right there. But I also did 8. That one doesn't sound as good. But I can't remember how bad it sounds. Yeah, I thought it sounded like kind of pentatonic. I was surprised how well it worked. I think something like that would be cool to just using like a solo or something. Yeah, the 8 didn't turn out as nicely. The 7 was okay though. I mean, the 4 of 7 was okay though. I was surprised. I wonder if I could actually. Yeah, I could probably actually come up with something with that. Like, it's just a simple. It's only 4 notes. It doesn't have real octaves, but 4 notes to the almost octave. I think if I put a sub on this. Yeah, but not that loud. Maybe make it a little clearer too. It's not terrible. It's almost, it's got like a, I don't know, it just reminds me of like pentatonic. Just like just works, all the notes just work. Kind of curious. I love this, I'm kind of new to pigments and to the linnstrument. So I've just been like learning a bunch of new stuff lately. So it's kind of hard to like write stuff and actually stick with anything, but I actually think this might be good for or should I set that to velocity maybe? That might be good on velocity. Start up. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, this thing's really cool because you can, it's got a few like modulators here, so you can like this one I don't know how it works, but it sounds really cool. I think it like just moves the partials around. Like scrunches them closer together and stuff. It's interesting that 4 divisions of 7/4 work so nicely. None of the ratios are nice other than the 7/4. You know, I'm curious too, because like the notes just kind of work like a common chord progression almost. So I wonder what the notes are. Like what they're close to. It's got to be something like familiar. So it's, well, that's not close to anything. That's close to the 5th. That's close to the 4th. So you get like a kind of like a 1, 4, 5 and flat 2 kind of. I mean flat 7. I mean, kinda. But yeah, it just works. It's interesting. Is the instrument you're using a harmonic series instrument, or is it based on a single sine wave? This particular engine here in Pigments, the harmonic engine, well, I also have a sub oscillator on, but I'll turn that off real quick just to show you this. This harmonic engine, it's just one tone, and it's just additive synthesis. So you literally just add in. So in the basic form, it's just like this. So you can choose like, first of all, like how many partials you want to play with. So if you want a simpler, closer to like a, you know, just regular sine wave. If you turn all these off, it's just the sine wave. Let me get the
other tool that you can use to
oops. Let me get this thing a little more visible too. So yeah, you look up top, you can see it's just like a sine wave there. And then as we add partials, it gets closer to a saw wave. And I can only add 8, but you can go up to 512. And you know, you get that kind of roundy saw there. But it just adds the harmonics one at a time. So you can kind of hear it. It's just a root. Second one comes in a little louder, a little louder. And it literally tells you which partial you're on as you're scrolling the knob. So it's just the, you know, second harmonic, third harmonic there, 4th, 5th, blah blah blah. And you can do certain things like with this window. You could like scroll this over. Say you want to get rid of this. What are we on? So say we're on the 6th harmonic and we want to get rid of that 5th harmonic. You can just get rid of that. You can't like, if there were really nasty, so it is approximating a harmonic instrument then. So if it were really nasty collisions in the upper harmonics, we'd likely hear them. Yeah, and you can get it to sound really nasty too. So yeah, this is just like, these are like perfect right now. It's just like mathematically perfect, I'm assuming. Yeah, and you can also amplify these. But you can go through. See, we're bringing out like a really high partial there. And you can do like bigger chunks. And if you use a filter, like a high pass filter, you can make this sound a lot more even too. Let's do like a little nicer filter. That's not that nice. But if you go in the higher harmonics and squeeze the partials together, what the heck? Come on. It does sound a little weird. So if there were really nasty collisions in the upper harmonics, we'd likely hear them. Sometimes a tuning that sounds really bad on a string instrument sounds okay when it's played with just a sine wave. Presumably because there aren't conflicts in the upper harmonics that the ear is catching. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and some instruments can play like probably more. Like since the piano's so inharmonic anyway, I wonder if you can get away with certain things that you just couldn't get away with on like a guitar, for instance. Although I'm sure guitars aren't perfect either. Like, I don't know how that works though, but yeah, this thing is really interesting. I don't really know how to use it in a way to make music quite yet, but I do kind of just find it fascinating to just play with. I mean, you can make all kinds of weird sounds on here. And yeah, it's like similar to to filtering, but it sounds like a little cleaner or something. Like if you did that on a just a regular sawtooth and just filtered it. Sounds like that. But when you do it on the harmonic engine, it's like... Well, I'll turn off the effects so it sounds more... Turn off that modulate. Oh, it is off. Yeah, it's just like... It sounds like way brighter or something. It's like crispier and in a way almost like cleaner. But it literally adds it's additive synthesis. The first version of the synth you were working on, the whole goal of the project was just to generate instruments where the partials weren't at integer ratios of the fundamental. Like the fundamental could be set to be at every 1 1/3 times the base ratio instead of doubling, or 1.3 times. Oh, that's interesting. I would love to play with something like that, like a synth that can do that. Have you seen the that reminds me of that new tonality thing. Have you seen this? So it sounds very bell-like, yeah. So on this, you can get the you can tell like how many partials to play, kind of like our additive synth that we were just playing with. But you can get the spectrum to match. So right now, the spectrum like lines up. The spectrum is just harmonic, so it's just like normal. So it's just a regular harmonic series. You know, you can do more partials or whatever. So you get, you get your saw or whatever. So you can see all those. It's looking, I don't know, kind of crazy there, but you can also get the partials to line up to match an Edo. So now they're matching 12. So here it sounds like weird now because the partials have been stretched to match the roughness of 12 Edo's 100, step size cents. Yeah, so this shows you the roughness, yeah, the dissonance, yeah, basically. So the lower this is, the less dissonant. So that's why the perfect fifth looks really low, and the octave is like almost completely flat. And if it's harmonic, it should be completely flat. Well, it should be either way. It'd be the same. Anyway, close enough. Yeah, the octave should be the same either way. But you can actually change the Edo though. So you could do like map the partials to 13 Edo, and that'll sound a certain way. So that just sounds crazy. And you can take this. Well, you can download this file. And for some reason they put it in a zip. Yeah, I'm just gonna take this sample wave and throw it in my samples. And then we can actually go to our sampler on Pigments, because we have one. And we can somehow load this on here. I can't remember how you do that. Import. I'm pretty sure you just drag it in there. No? You upload a new one. Oh, there we go. So yeah, we'll just import wave. It says it's a wave. What the heck? What do you want? Does it have to be a folder? I don't want a folder. I think I'm pressing the wrong button. Yes. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. Here we go. See, now we have this. Now we can play this. My sampler is grumpy. No, Not. Well, yes. Yes, it is. But yeah, you can take that and then now you have that sound. So that's that. And that was in 13 Edo. So if we wanted to, we could change our tuning. Since the parcels are mapped to 13 Edo now, we can take our tuning and load up 13 Edo if we feel so inclined. And now we can play it. So these are like, the partials of this are like made for 13 Edo. So if we took that, if we changed the tuning to something not 13 Edo-y, like let's try 11 instead. It just sounds way cloudier. But if we go back to 13, like the partials just line up. And you know, 13 is not a very friendly tuning. But yeah, just the timbre of it is just like meant for it now. And then of course you can, depending on your sampler, you can go in and play with it. So, you know, whatever. I don't know how much I want to get into that right now, but yeah, 13 good for scary stuff. I did one a while back for 22. I did the same thing, but I did 22. So in 13 it probably doesn't sound as good. So if I load up 22 again, actually this was it's like a the patch is like meant for MPE, so oh, it doesn't sound that good. Thought it sounded cooler earlier, but anyway, that was the same idea though. But that's what you were just saying reminded me of. I would love to like just be able to it's quite cacophonous but has an orchestral pleasantness to it. Yeah, maybe if I played like a nicer chord or something. I have a maybe it's just because I'm playing random notes. I did think it sounded actually kind of cool before. I have a 22 Edo set up, and actually that's what I was doing earlier was a Moss scale in 22. So maybe I'll try that. So I have to turn all these off. So we have a blank, and this web app, you can just send the colors to your instrument. So this is a subset of 22. Whoops, where'd it go? go back to just 22, and then I have a, it doesn't matter because it's all equal tuning, but I do have a keyboard mapping, so it like matches my tune files. Do I? Maybe I don't. Never mind. Why is it so low? That's weird. Why is it so low? Oh, this isn't even right. What the heck's going on here? I don't know. There's that doesn't sound that good. That doesn't sound that good. I don't know. Not really feeling it right now. It's like a weird tuning, but either way, just gonna go back to regular. Why does it sound so low? Wonder if something happened when I that sounds weirdly low. I wonder if something happened when I changed my controller. That's weird. Maybe if I restart Reaper. That's so strange. Oh. No, there's something else going on. Oh my goodness. That's why it sounds so weird, dude. Are we still in 22? Let's see. Yeah. Let me try now. It's probably an yeah, it was. There's an offset on this. So I have it so that like 7 of these is a unison. Or I guess I have it where 8 is. But just had it turned off. So yeah, the offset is every 7, so yeah. So maybe now it'll sound fine. Yeah, I must have hit that. I've done that before. I hit that key on accident. So let me try it one more time. Maybe it was just... That's better. One of the big reasons you got interested in microtonal music, you didn't want to compose nice happy music. Are you a fan of Porcupine Tree. I think they write some really cool, like, 12 Ito is really good for happy, nice music. But you were guessing that since it was so strong there, it must be weaker for the emotions you're more interested in. Yeah, I mean, you do get like a wider palette, I think. Or you get like more subtle shades. Like going back to that septimal minor third, for instance. It's so subdued and so mellow. In a way, it like feels like we can even just listen to those back to back. Like, the 6/5. And the 6/7, like, both minor thirds, but like this one is like so much more, I don't know, it's like it's almost like more minor in a way, and I love that sound. And yeah, but yeah, you just don't get that. And like we can do the whole is it this? And then you have something like that. Oops. Something like this. Oh, I need to change these actually. It needs to be 10, 12, 15, and 12, 14, 15. So yeah, like just the triads. Just hear the triads. So there's the thirds. Here's like the minor chords. Oops, forgot my dashes. I don't need this anymore. Yeah, I mean, like, what? That is so crazy. What is that? Just love that. But some instruments is not even minor anymore. It's more like tranquil or something. Yeah, it does have. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It has like a tranquil vibe. What's the saddest minor third? Hey, Romeos. That's a great question. That I don't. What are some thirds we could try? So we got the 5 limit. And there's a 7 limit. This one's not the saddest, but I do really like this one because it keeps coming up for some reason. What's that? Was it? It's called a. Vicesima tertial or something. Minor third. And then whatever that times 3 is. What is that? 57? Something like that. So probably need to double these. That was wrong. Oh, that double would be 56. That can't be right. What's 19 times 3? 57? Is that what I put? 57. 19 times 2 is 37. Oh. Okay. And then what's 23 times 2? 46. And then, what did we say, 57? Let's try that. Something around 325. Did I get the 5th right there? That can't be right. 37 or 57? What's 19 times 3 is 57. 15 times 2 is, oh, 38. Ah. Very good at math. Duh. Okay, there we go. That makes sense. Okay. That was not sad. It's kind of bright. Something around 325 is the flattest in a flat tone context. You find when you push the minor third more sharp, it gets angrier. And when you push it more flat, it gets tranquilizing. Yeah, I can see that. So this one's at like 331. This one's at, what is it? 286 or whatever. Or is it 316? I think it's like 316. Or 314, I mean. And then this one is 266, 267. 267. 314 and 331. Oh, this one sounds flatter. What is this one? I must have that wrong. What is 5, 6, 6, 5? 315. This should be flatter. Should be flatter. Why does that sound like it gets flatter? You're so bad at log power math in your head. Yeah, I don't even know what that. Oh, like, oh, why? I know what powers are. I don't know how to do the logs though. What were we saying? 325 cents. Can you do cents on here? Yes. How do you make it a full chord? Is this the chord? Let's see. No, that's. Can you use colons here too? No? I don't remember how to do this. I know there's a way to do it. Oh, brackets. Alright, try that. There we go. So that one is really close to the 331 in terms of just the sound. It's actually really close to this one too. They all sound very similar to me. It's translating from hertz to cents because the ratios you're plugging in are with respect to hertz. Oh yeah. No, I can't translate from hertz to cents. I just memorize them. More or less. I mean, I understand like some of the logic, like as the super particular ratio gets, as the numbers get higher, the interval gets smaller. Stuff like that. But yeah, there's no way. Yeah, I'd imagine so. I mean, I know some people are very gifted mathematicians. I'm not one of them. I'm okay at it, but I'm very sloppy. And yeah, I can't like intuit everything. My dad's an engineer, and my sister and her husband are both studied at a technical college, both studied industrial engineering. And their kid, my nephew, he's like a 5-year-old. He can do like exponents, and he's better at math than I am. And he's literally 5 years old. And he's just obsessed with numbers. So I mean, I have firsthand experience. Like, just, I know some people are just gifted. You know the formula, but it's too hard to mentally calculate. You can guess things like 299 over 200 being slightly smaller than 300. Yeah, right. Yeah, you can pick up on the logic. I think the more you kind of deal with that, with those intervals, the more those patterns become clear or intuitive or whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised if there are people who can literally just calculate the logs, but it's probably very rare. Or they can do it like within like a certain degree of accuracy. Because it is there is like a formula. I can't remember what it is, but it's just like 1 over something to the power of 2. Or square root, or I can't remember, but something to do with that. Anyway, did we answer the question? What is the saddest minor third? I think we didn't. I think the flatter one. Although I admit these sound more traditional minor to me, but this does sound. I mean, there's something so intriguing about that sound. But I don't know that it necessarily says sad in the traditional sense. But there is something sad about it, I guess. It does sound minor. It almost sounds like bluesier or something. I don't quite know how to put it, but I don't know what other minor thirds there are. I know there's a trillion of them. Let me go, let's try this real quick. If we go to the 22 Edo minor third-ish zone, so here we have 2017. Septendecimal minor third. Let's hear that one. Oh, that's nice. What's 17 times 351? What's that, 34? 40? Something like that? Yeah. This is solid chord right there. That's a good one. Where does that go in the that's 281. This one's 3 something, right? So it's gotta be right here. This one is bright. This one is like pushing. Like I hear the angriness. You guess the sadness of the 325 one comes from the mood of flat tone temperament rather than the third itself. So like the larger context. What is flat tone temperament? Now I'm curious. as an alternative extension to 5-limit mean tone. Interesting. The temperament that tempers out the syntonic comma. Oh, mean tone tempers out the syntonic comma. It's generated by a fifth that is typically flatter than that of a mean tone. And 9 of those reach a pitch class of 8/7. Oh, interesting. So that's 7/4. So 9/5 make a ninth. Basically. Is that what that's saying? Is that what that means? So 9/5 make a ninth, basically. Because normally 2 make a ninth. So that 7/4 is a diminished seventh. Seven six is a diminished third. And 7/5 is a doubly diminished fifth. Wait, what is 7/5 normally? That's normally a minor... No, it's normally a tritone. So this, instead of being just a diminished fifth, it's doubly diminished. 11 and 13 extensions are fairly obvious, really, using the heavily tempered chromatic semitone for the undecimal quarter tone of 33-32 and the tridecimal third tone of 27-26. And for those of you watching later, because everyone in my chat right now is knows more than I do, but that means 13 tridecimal. 13 limit. 26 is 13 times 2. And then, anyway, 11 and 13 extensions are fairly obvious, apparently, using the heavily tempered chromatic semitone. (33, 32). So that's the fifth of the 11th. The sharp becomes super small. A major second is about 10/9. And a sharp second is 8/7. So 8/7 is kind of wide anyways, isn't it? Isn't it like 110? I mean, oh no. What am I saying? 231. Holy moly. It is a little wide though. I had that part right. The Zen Harmonic Wiki is mostly written by extraterrestrials. I don't trust when they say it's fairly obvious. If you've been on Zen Harmonic Discord, you'll understand that these are very, very educated. I mean, it's obvious. 26 Edo is the simplest flat tone Edo. Oh, interesting. We were just doing 13, and we have a sample for 13. So what I'm gonna do is load up that sample, and then load up 26 Edo. That might be, I don't know if that's gonna be too big for the linnstrument, but maybe I'll just do flat tone. So let's find it. Oh. See, I went on new tonality and did a 13 Edo one. Flat tone 443 443. Is that the one? 443 443 443 4443 443. That's easy enough. So 3 4 is a 3, 2 4s, and then a 3. So let's do that real quick. 8. And then 3. 4. Wait, what did I do wrong here? 4, 4, 4, right? And then 3, then 4, 4. Oh, that's right. And then there's 3. Oh, it's just 7 notes. I knew that. Let's take a quick glance. Oh, that is flat. Look at that. And then the 4th is sharp, of course. Is it 12 note version? How many notes is that? 1. There's a 12 note version. I'm gonna do that one. It'll just be easier to map. This thing's like too big for small scales. I mean, it's obviously you can still do it, but it's a little more comfortable to do 12. So let's break all the 4s into 3 1s. Go 3 first every time. Oh, really? You can just make it in rank 2 temperament? I see. Well, we're pretty close now. I think that's right. 3 1 3 1 3 1 3 3 1 3 1 3 3 1 3 1 3 1 3 3 1 3 1 3. All right. Let's go this. Interesting. Do these match up? I think they do. We have whole, half, whole, half, whole. Wait, no, they don't. So, wait, what am I thinking? What am I thinking right now? What is this? Wait, C, and there's a flat. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, E sharp, F. No, that's weird. This would be like C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Or is this like F, G, A, B, C, D, E? Yes, that one. It's like it starts on F. It's like F, G, A, B, C, D, E. And then this. So, alright. It looks wrong, but you can't tell what went wrong. Oh, there's a 36 Edo step in there. Oh, right on. Haha. Alright. How's that? Oh, there were 3 notes. Big, small, big, small, big, small, big, big, small, big, small, big. See, it's like it starts on F. So when I put this in my keyboard, I'm going to set it up like in 12 Edo. But starting on F. We're good. Now, so let me make sure this is working. So, there's my root right there. So where does it say C is? Not there. So where does it say F is? Not there either. Oh, I think this is always based on A. Let's check that. No? Dang. So where are we? Oh, what's the fourth A? A is D. What was the note? Right here, fourth one over. That should be A, right? Well, that should be a C. Am I losing my mind right now? What is going on? It's literally none of them. Uh-oh. I was pressing the wrong one. It is A. Holy shit. Okay, what was it though? So A is our main one, and then we have to program it like it's in Lydian. Sorry, this part's really boring. Even more than usual. This should be it. Does this sound right? And then I have this sample that is this is a 13 Edo spectrum, so it should work in 26. Take that back. It doesn't really work in 26. Let's try 26. Odd. I know, a little odd. Why doesn't it work? Let's do try this. Oh, what? You can't go that far? Ah, dang. It's too bad. Gotta sell for this. Alright, that sounds terrible. Let's do something else. Do this. Cool. I've never played in 26. This is interesting. I've messed with 13 a little bit. Never really got into it though. Oh, you can? Select the text next to the slider. Oh, maybe we're gonna, yeah. Oh, cool. That's neat. Does that really work? That's crazy. That's... That's good. Oh, it really worked. That's crazy. Oh god. Let's try this one. Oh, that's interesting. 106 sounds pretty nice. I don't know if it's still working because these sound really nice. That's probably not gonna work, is it? Just sounds regular. I guess. Oh, the big ones just sound nice because the partials are close, so that makes sense. What if we tried 41? Wow. Now try harmonic. Everyone says 53. That's the holy grail. I don't hear it. Everyone says 31. It's the white. Oh god, that's terrible. Is it doing something else too? I'm not understanding. Why does it sound so busy? Holy shit, it sounds terrible. Oops. Oh my god. Alright, let's do this and get out of here. Let's download it. Sample 1. Let's give this one a name. Oh, let's unzip it first. Or, that's not what that really is, but alright. Where'd he go? I put it in the wrong folder. Oh, I didn't put it in any folder. Wrong one. There we go. That's way better. That's so crazy. That 13 one sounded terrible. I guess it's not that bad. Way worse though. I mean, come on. This sounds actually good. Sounds pretty cool. Let's put a little filter on there and put a little envelope on that. Oh man, that is nice. Yeah, it's got such a sweet, sadness about it. I love that. This is like a Lydian, but ultra sad. I wonder what regular sounds like. That's not right. What am I playing? Oh, it is right. I'm just in a different... Everything is like bass A. This would be like D, I guess. No. E, of course. What am I thinking? Yeah, it'd be E. Okay. Damn, that's nice. Oh man, it's been 3 hours already. You think 26 is fine with normal timbres if you can get past the flat prime 5? Sounds fine. Let's just sine wave. Yeah, I listened to I think it's the most recent now in Zen. It's definitely one of the most recent ones. But there's this band that they do everything in 26 Edo because there's 26 letters of the alphabet. And it's just like they take the Silmarillion, or however you say that, by Tolkien. And they literally just like turn the Silmarillion into chords and riffs and stuff by translating the alphabet into 26 Edo. But it's not like a 1-to-1. Like, it's not like A is 1 step and B is 2 steps. It's like the guy who does all the translating went through and like figured out what the most common words are or something, and then like in letters, and like tried to get the really common letter configurations to go with like nicer sounding intervals and stuff. So there's like a whole convoluted system, like translation scheme, and yeah, and they're like a metal band. It sounds pretty cool actually. I haven't like sat down and listened to it, but what was it called again? They had a weird name. There's no way I could remember their name. Melopia. So they should have some info on that. Let's listen to like a second of this. I'm actually gonna get going. See, I'm about to wrap up, but I guess on my way out, I'll play some of this. This is in 26 Edo. But yeah, I don't think I'll be back tomorrow. Should be back day after. But yeah, this is a good find, so thank you, Romeos, for that. You're always giving me the good sound scales and stuff. I messed with that one Euler Fokker thing for like a while, a couple days. The second one especially, I really like that because it has like kind of redundant interval classes. It's got like 2 major sevenths and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty interesting. But anyway, because the notes that were normal were really worked quite easily, and then the ones that were out were like good alternatives to the other ones, and then you could kind of mix them together and they would sound fine because they were all, I don't know, they just all worked. But all right, I'll see you guys next time. I'll be back in a couple days. Thanks for watching if you were watching live or later on. And yeah.
Of the
snow.